Hey guys, Sensei Craig here and welcome back to the Samurai Virtual Dojo. In this week's session, I've got a jump rope warm up for you, some basics and some kicking, some kingeri, some kata and some other stuff. So for today's session, you'll need a skipping rope, so make sure you grab that, and also some sort of mitt or targeting device. You can use a tennis ball inside of a stocking or something like that. Anyway, grab your skipping rope, let's get into it. Okay, so our skipping or jump rope routine for warming up this week revolves around a series of 30-second bursts of activity. If some of these activities are a bit difficult for you, you can substitute freestyle skipping. Okay, I'm going to recommend 30 seconds for each round. A little bit of rest in between each. However, if that's a little simple or if that's a little easy for you, feel free to escalate the intensity or the time frame. So do these for up to a minute. Anyway, first round, we're going to start with 30 seconds of just freestyle skipping. So freestyle skipping meaning anything you like, a little bit of basic bouncing, okay, get your crossovers and stuff like that. Just keep it nice and light, and as I said, 30 seconds. Off you go. Excellent. After you've completed that first set, your right side, we're just going to do 30 seconds of some basic body weight movement exercises. So for the first 10 seconds, we're going to do some high knees. Second 10 seconds of this set, butt kicks. Third 10 seconds, just some star jumps. That's how away we go. Got the knees up. Good. Good job. Now let's get some star jumps now. So very good. Grab your rope. Alright, now that you've got your rope again, back to another 30 seconds of freestyle skipping. Go. Make sure you try to minimize the amount of arm movement you make. Core movements with the wrist. Freestyle. Get your various movements in there. Like crossovers. Things like that. Okay, next up, this is the basic shadow sparring, shadow movement. Let's get ready for that. Okay, so with our shadow sparring, we're just going to keep it nice and simple. So, left leg forward. Excellent, and just start pulsing. It's going to be a basic golden rule, so hands up. And following along with me, I'm going to throw front hand, ready, hit. Good, and now back hand, knee. Good, hit. Front hand, knee. It's knee, backhand. It's knee. You little leagues out there, make sure you're concentrating. Mum or dad are helping you, reminding you concentrating on your legs. Stay down. Golden rule number 2, yeah. It's knee. It's knee. That's the way. It's knee. Very good. I feel like that was probably more than 30 seconds. Alright, grab your rope. Remember to take those short rests in between these rounds. Okay, off we go. Another 30 seconds of freestyle skipping. Let's do it. If you're getting pretty good at skipping, try things like left forward. The operative word being try. High knees. Back Small circular actions with your feet. Good. A few more seconds. Excellent. And shake your legs out, grab the rope. Whew, actually, let's get rid of that. Grab the rope. All right. Now, this last 30 seconds, start a bit of freestyle skipping. When I say go, I want you to skip nice and fast. Another 5 seconds. Good, then we're going to get 10 seconds of fast skipping, go. That's the way. Nice and fast, go, 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 go. Ow. And slow down. Whoa, a couple of toe cutters in there. Goodness me. Alright. And finish. Great job, good warm up today, guys. Alright, so if you haven't yet, get you to change into your gi. I'm gonna get changed into my gi. I'll see you back here in a minute. Let's get stuck into some karate, yeah? Awesome. Great job, guys. Welcome back. Just a couple of quick things before we get started. So if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to Samurai Karate Croydon on YouTube. Also hit that notification bell. That way you'll be alerted and you'll get notifications when we post new content or advertise, post upcoming live streams. Very good. Also, second thing, don't forget to head over to our Patreon page and become a patron member of Samurai Virtual Dojo. Patron members get exclusive access to full videos. So for example, today's session, the full video is available to patron members at the Samurai Virtual Dojo Patreon page. And becoming a patron helps us grow, create more content, and down the track, put on more creators, bring you guys more good stuff. So don't forget those things. Anyway, let's get into some training. Okay, so with our first segment of training today, we're going to commence in a seiza position. So focusing on tucking our back and butt in, tummy forward. All right, we're going to take a look at 2 basic uke movements and just break them down a little bit, make sure we're doing them properly. I'm speaking about agi uke, so this action here and getter uke. The reason I've chosen these 2 movements is they share a wind up in a novice context. They share a basic wind-up structure. So let's have a look at agi uke first. So commencing with the left hand forward, we know that the hikite comes across the body like so at a novice level, and then from there we make a circle with this elbow around and out. We don't want the arm to stop in front of the head. Okay, remember, as the technique comes in, we're looking to deflect it away. So moving the arm up is not our primary goal. Our primary goal is to circle around and deflect the incoming technique off to the side. So from here we wind up, and then from there circle that arm around. Let's get 10 of those. Ready? It's up and around, and knee. Don't worry too much about form, son, at the moment. Just make sure you're yon, moving the arm around. Go. Rump. Good. Nana. Hutch. Q. And Ju. Excellent. Okay, now let's break that down a little bit more. So uke technically means, in Chinese, Japanese language, uke means to receive. Those of you who've trained in the Samurai Virtual Dojo or Samurai Karate Croydon will know that I've talked about that before and in previous videos. Okay, so it doesn't mean to block or to resist. It means to receive, or in this case, because we're talking about actions that are designed to protect us, to deflect. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get that flick. of the arm at the end. We've talked about that with Soto Chudan, how the arm comes across with Soto Chudan, and then it turns at the end to create that flicking deflective action. Well, we need to get that action with our Argu-uke and our Gedan-uke as well. They're both uke movements or deflective receiving movements. Okay, so let's have a look how that works. So we wind up, and then from there, as the arm comes around, try to keep your forearm facing out until you get to this point here, and then practice getting that flick. As the elbow comes around, so the back of my hand is still pointing towards you guys, and then I get that flick at the end. Now be careful not to flick it so that the wrist is facing out. Remember, we don't want that soft part of the wrist facing out. Okay, so let's have a look at that with the other hand. So I wind up, let's break it down, let's just pull that back. Come around, can you see that my arm is not turned yet, and as it reaches the point where it's making contact with the incoming strike, it gets that flicking movement out. So up, around, and flick. Up, around, keep that face out, and flick. Very good. So it's flick, flick. That's the way. Very good. You should be following along. Very nice. Excellent. All right. So really important now that you get a bit of practice of that by yourself. So I'm going to recommend 20 of those for little samurais, 30 for juniors, so 7 to 11 year old, 30 of those. Everybody else, get at least 50 of those. Make sure you're nice and disciplined, focused in your practice. Okay, after you finish that, pause the video, come back, we'll have a look at Gedan-uke. Excellent. How did you go with that Argu-uke? Remember, if you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. All right, let's have a look at our Gedan-uke. The principle is exactly the same. However, I will do a demonstration and get you to follow along. Okay, so you're going to pop this hand forward. You can put your left hand forward. Wind up is the same as for Argu-uke. And again, we want to focus on keeping the back of the hand facing outwards, or in this instance down, and then as we reach almost completion of the uke movement, we're going to flick that hand at the end there. Just is a sound effect I often make in the dojo. That little flicking action there, to go with that flicking action there when I'm teaching my students. Okay, so wind up. Okay, so we don't make that turn of the hand up here. That's really important. We don't turn the hand there, and now it becomes a hitting action rather than deflective. So we want to keep the hand turned. Let me open my hand so you can see it a little bit better. So you see the back of the hand is coming down the other arm, and then there's that flick at the end in a closed position. Looks like that. Okay, so let's do some open hand. See how that works. So itch, knee. See the hand is palm up and then flicks at the end. So up, down, and flick. All right, back to a closed hand position. Ready? Up, down, and flick. Up, down, and flick. To my count. Itch, knee. Following along with Sensei. San. Good. Make sure you're making proper fists, guys. Yon. Go. Rock. Nana. Hut. Q. Ju. Excellent. So we're getting that flick at the end of each uke movement. Excellent. So, time for you to practice on your own now. So, reps are the same as for Argu-uke. So pause the video here and complete your reps. 20 reps for little samurais, 30 for juniors, 50 for everybody else. Of course, if you want to do more, go for it. See you back here in a moment. Okay guys, next stage is to practice those movements in a high kodachi position. So if you haven't already, up off your knees, on your feet, and let's get a nice strong high kodachi, feet shoulder wide, pointing straight, tuck in that pelvic floor. Okay, and left hand forward. So starting with Argyuke to 1 count. Ready? Hits. Get that flick at the end. Knee. San. Yo. Flick at the end. Go. Rook. Nana. Hats. Q. Ju. Excellent. Now let's just place that hand forward again and get 10. Get under K. H. Up. Knee. San. Yon. Go. Rook. Nana. Hatch. Q. Keep your core strong. Ju. Excellent. Keep in mind that when you're practicing technical work like this and we're developing technique, remember speed is not the key. So notice that I'm not going really fast when I'm practicing those uke movements. I'm going at a reasonable pace, fast enough, but also slow enough that I can concentrate on making the correct action. So don't escalate too much at this stage. All right, guys, great job. What we're going to do now, just do a little bit of uke with a punch afterwards and thrust. Okay, and hopefully we can see some improvement in that movement. So, yoi! Left hand forward. So first count, let's get the uke movement. So starting with Argi uke. Here we go. Yes. Now, tsuki, ni. And thrust, san. Yes. Ni. San. Yes. Ni. San. Yes. Ni. San. Yes. Ni. San. Yes. Strong ki. Good. San. Don't move. Get under K. It's. Ni. San. Make sure your core is still strong. It's. Ni. San. It's. Ni. San. It's. Ni. San. 2 more. It's. Ni. San. It's. Strong ki. And san. Very good. And shake out. Well done. That concludes our, I guess, not only technical review, but also a little bit of technical study on the flicking or deflective action of Argyuke and Ghetto. So well done. Excellent. So have a short break, grab some water, whatever you need. Meet me back here in a moment, the next section of our training. Excellent. So, in this next section of our training, we're going to look at kingeri, okay, or the lower version of our front kick. Remember, with kingeri, we are kicking a little lower, and this is the one where we want to point our toes. Pointing our toes this way. The reason for that's, I guess you could say, quite brutal, and it's because we are tacking underneath or between the legs this way. Okay, so quite a potentially destructive kick. Okay, and like any techniques that we teach, these need to be learned or taught and learned with a degree of maturity. So these, even though karate training, we want it to be fun, especially for kids. Like anything that's dangerous, these are not things, guys, that we go out. This is a message for our kids out there in their virtual dojos or their home dojos. We don't muck around with these techniques and play fight and practice them on other people. That's not the way to go, guys. All right, so I'll get you to take a nice strong left leg forward position. We're going to start with a knee lift exercise. Remember, for balance, concentrate on a few things. Number one, keep your hands still. Okay, if I go to lift my knee and kick and my hands move, it's going to make it more difficult for me to balance. So that's number one, keep your hands still. Number two, keep your head still. If your head's moving, especially in a live dojo, if you're looking around at other students, if your head is following the sensei around when you're trying to kick, it's going to be harder to balance. Remember, balance is in your head. It's contained, or the sense of balance, the ability to balance is dictated by your inner ear. So the more you shift your head off axis, the harder it is to balance. So that's number two, keep your head still. And number three, keep that core strong. We always come back to that core, guys. Keep that core strong. If you kick, hands still, head still, your core is weak, you're going to find it hard to lift your knee, keep your body up in a strong position. So I'm going to show you a couple of kicks where I adhere really strongly to those three basic principles. So, one, hand still. Two, head still. And three, core tucked and core strong. All right, here I go. You can follow along if you like, or feel free to watch. Okay, so hands, head, and core tucked, and I kick. And as you can see, should be a nice, strong, balanced technique. Let's look at that again. Like so. One more time. And down. Okay. So, remember, when you kick, this particular kick, Kingeri, front kick, you want your support foot to turn. Now, when I say turn, roughly 45 degrees. Again, as I've said in previous videos, don't rush out and grab your protractor. Alright, so let's have a look at that. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit on my support foot now, so head's going to disappear for a moment. Alright, from here, as I kick, that support foot turns. Okay? Now, if this is a bit difficult for you to do at your age or your level, don't worry about it too much. Just file it away under, practice that when I'm a little bit more experienced. So let's have a look at that. As I kick, support foot turns, and I come back down and it turns back to that straight position. One more time. Kick, support foot turns, I come back, and it turns back to that position. Okay, very good. Let's practice some Kingeri now to my count. Oi! Left leg forward. Here! Alright, here we go. Kingeri and down. Etch! Kick and down. There! Kick and down. Sun! Kick and down. Good. Yum! Kick and down. One more. Here! Kick and down. Excellent. Alright, I want you to complete another 10 of those in your own time. Then, change legs, right leg forward, and complete 15 kicks, right leg forward. Go. Welcome back. So, for this next element or segment of our training today, you're going to need some form of target to kick with your Kingeri. So if you're lucky enough to be training at home with someone, mum or dad, or maybe parent and child training together, maybe at home you've got something a little bit like this. So these are quite common. Often a lot of households where people work out now, do home workouts and stuff, have these focus mitts. So holding one of these down for groin kick is going to work really well. Another option is you might have one of these small punch or kick shields. This is a great one from SMAI. We've got quite a few of these in the Samurai Dojo, Samurai Virtual Dojo, here at Samurai Karate Croydon. And these are great, not really that big, great for kids. So when your hand goes through, and and we just grab that at the end there, and we can hold that down. Great for kicking roundhouse kicks here, groin kicks, front kicks, and also punches and things like that. So a little kick shield like this might work really well. Now, Sensei Craig's a bit unlucky today. I don't have anyone here in the Samurai Virtual Dojo to help me. Well, with the exception of Tani Sensei, of course, and Kawada Sensei looking on over there. But I don't actually have anyone physically here to help me. So these are not much good to me today. So I've got my old friend here, Tetherball. Okay, so I'm not going to really be able to get any impact like I can with these, but I can use the Tetherball as a targeting or a focus device. Keep in mind that patrons, you guys have got exclusive access to upcoming videos, and we have done, and it will be coming out shortly, a video on tetherball sparring and using the tetherball to develop technique. So anyway, let's have a look at how that's going to help me with my Kingeri. Okay, so as you can see, I'm standing in front of my tetherball here. Now, if you're working with a mitt or a small kick shield, a big kick shield, obviously that shield is going to be, or that mitt is going to be in front of you there. What I want to do now is focus on my target, and I want to kick nice and sharp. Now, if it's a tetherball or a focus mitt, I want to get a bit of light contact, but I don't want the target to move too much. Okay, so this is a focus drill. I don't want to be kicking off over here and missing to the side. And I don't want to be kicking and missing really low down here. I want to get my kick as close to the ball as I can. Also, I want to be kicking with the back of my foot this way. So let's call that the top of the foot here. Okay, so don't kick with your toes down here. All right, so let's measure out there. All right, that looks okay. All right, with my back leg now, my right leg. I'm just going to get some now as a demonstration for you. Okay, and then with your partner or with your tetherball, you can practice 20 with your right leg and 20 with your left leg. Let's see how Sensei goes. All right, so ball, line straight down the middle of my body. And from here, whoa, first one's a bit of a miss there. And, oh, that was a better one. So focus. Remember the rules earlier, head still, hand still. Hand still, head still, core tucked. All right, here we go again. Oh, a little bit low, that one. Oh, that's probably the best one so far. Not bad. Gave it a bit of a flick there. Anyway, so there you go. All right, practice 20 or more if you're feeling really up to it. Right leg kicks, then left leg kicks on your target of choice at home, in your home dojo. So whether it's your focus mitt, your kick shield, or your tetherball, away you go. Great job, guys. So coming towards the end of our training for this week or this particular session. Okay, so what are we going to finish with? We're going to finish with some kata training. So we'll start with a basic kata training exercise, focusing on shikodachi. Of course, that will be Shihozuki San. Okay, which is our Shiho pattern, focusing on shikodachi as the first stance in each direction. Following that, we'll complete a quick review of what we've learnt regarding Pinan Sandan up until this point. Then I'm going to teach you the last 3 movements of Pinan Sandan so that you've got that whole or complete kata that you can practice in your own time. So, let's get into it. So, with Shizuki San, it is the traditional basic Shiho pattern, where I go to my left first, followed by behind, forward or towards the shoulder, and then back. And then repeat that on the other side of the body, commencing to the right. I use shikodachi. For those of you who have not seen Shizuki San before, we want a very slight angle in our shikodachi. So when we initially drop or move to the left, we don't want to create a wide or open shikodachi like this. However, we also don't want to drop straight in like this. So my left foot is going to move slightly off the line. Turn, and as you can see, there's a very slight angle there. We're going to block shuto, blade edge, shuto, geranuke. Now from this position, remembering to pivot, you see now why we have, well hopefully you can see why, we had that slight angle in our shikodachi. Now I've got a clear path to step through and punch. Excellent, that's really important. So you littlies out there, can you make sure mummy or daddy's watching? Making sure that you're getting that angle and stepping through nicely. For the rest of you, just concentrate, make sure you've got that angle there and you step through nice and smooth. Okay, let's go. So, yoi. So, to my first count, we turn to the left, drop into shikodachi and block shuto, geranuke. Don't forget that flick. Try to get that flick that we worked on earlier today. Here we go. Ich, look, turn and block. Very nice. Now pivot, step, punch. Knee. Good. Now from this position, I want you to take your front foot, just like any shizuki, place it all the way behind. Now we're going to turn into shiko. Remember to put your foot slightly across so that you've got that angle. Ready? Ich. Good. Feel free to pause the video here and practice that turn a few times if you need to. Okay, let's continue. Pivot, turn, punch with step. Knee, pivot. Good. Now, towards the shoulder. So I look, ich. Remember to have that slight angle. Knee. Excuse my back. Front foot all the way behind. And can you see my foot's also gone across slightly? Ich. Slight angle. Pivot, step, punch with kiai. Yeah. Good. Now from here, step up with your right leg and turn on the right foot. Very good. Now you can practice to the right, the other side. And that's Shizuki-san. When you've practiced left and right, let's call that one set. Or, yeah, one set of Shizuki-san. I would like you to complete another 2 sets after that so that you've done 3 sets of Shizuki-san in total. And then I'll meet you back here for a Pinan Sandan review and we'll learn those last 3 movements. See you shortly. Excellent. How'd you go with that Shizuki-san? One of the most important elements there is that pivot from the angled or slightly angled shikodachi. That pivot and that smooth step. You'll see that happening in our Pinan Sandan, or maybe you remember already. I'll mention it when we get to it. Let's have a look at chapter 1. Yoi! Here we go. Follow along with Sensei. Ich! Go to your left. Knee. San. Okay, left foot forward and slightly across. Ready for cat starts. It's knee. San. Yon. Excellent. Pause here and practice that 5 times. Go. Hello! Hello from back here. Okay, so moving on to chapter 2, as you can see, because it's quite a lot of movement towards the camera, or towards you, I have moved quite a long way back. That's okay. We'll get a bit of zoom here, and then I'll zoom out, so you can see what's happening. Alright, but for those of you who've been learning with us, along with us so far, you should know what's happening already. So I've just completed, or you've just completed. So I've just completed segment or chapter number 1, which was here. 1, 2. Alright, so from this position here, ready? Ich. Knee. Good. San. Yon. Step through shiko. And strike. Now, even though we don't have an angle, Here comes the pivot step punch that we worked on in Shizuki-san. Yeah! Pivot, step, and punch. Oh, I chopped the top of my head off. Maybe I should bend my knee more. Okay, excellent. So that's chapter 2. Practice that 5 times, guys. So pause here, practice 5 times, and then come back for chapter 3. Go. Excellent. So chapter 3. We've finished chapter 2 with right leg forward, right hand forward. We're going to move our left foot behind, counterclockwise. Ready? Hitch. Knuckles on your belt. Step in right leg. Hitch. Block, knee, strike, sun. Hitch. Knee, sun. Good. 1 to go. Remember to leave it out and pick up the hikitake. Hitch, knee, sun. So hikitake up, strike stays out, pivot, step punch, kiai. Yeah. Pivot, step punch, kiai. Very good. Practice that 5 times, and I'll see you back here for the final section. Os. Great job, guys. We're nearly finished Pinnan Sandan. So, I'm going to demonstrate this final chapter, chapter 4. Not a lot of chapters in Pinnan Sandan. We're going to finish the kata and learn chapter 4. I'm going to demonstrate it for you from a couple of different angles. Okay, so first time I'm going to be facing the camera to start with. You'll notice that I do turn 180 degrees and my back will be to you guys. Then I'll show you from a slightly, well, maybe a couple of different angles. Okay, so when we finish chapter 3, we are left leg forward and we've completed a left tsuki, a left punch. From this position here, I'm going to step forward with my right leg, making a circle into haikodachi, just like we do in a shihozuki sequence, or at the end of a shihozuki sequence. From here, we're now going to turn, or position, we're going to position our left foot. It's a bit of a tricky turn this, so I'm going to break my weight, position my left foot all the way around, complete a 180 degree turn into haikodachi, punch over my left shoulder, and pull back with my left hand. So I'm punching with my right and pulling back with my left. I'm then going to look to my right, slide both feet, and complete the movement on the other side. From there, I finish the kata. Well, almost. I have to return to yoi strongly. So from here, I keep my eyes, my focus in this direction, but I step forward into yoi, and then after a moment, I look forward. And that's it. That's Pinnan Sandan. Okay, I'll start facing this way this time. Watch carefully. Okay, so I've just completed chapter 3. Alright, I step up into haikodachi with my right foot. Good. Then I break the weight over that right foot, move the left foot through, turn into haikodachi, strike with my right hand over my right shoulder, pull back, looking in this direction. Sorry, right hand over my left shoulder. Oops. Okay, and I'm looking to my left. Then I look to my right, slide, stay in haikodachi, strike. Keep looking this way, step away to yoi, and after a moment, look forward. Excellent. All right. Let's do that together. So, left leg forward, left tsuki. Here we go. Follow along with Sensei. And hitch, step up with your right foot. Knee, break, place the foot, now turn, sun. Right punch over the left shoulder. Now look, finish, slide, change hand, strong kiai. Here. Excellent. Yoi. And look forward. Fantastic! You just finished learning Pinan Sandan. Well done. If you've learned it before, then I hope that this was a good review for you. Okay, so now that we've learnt or looked at and reviewed Chapter 4, if you've never done that before, I'd recommend practicing Chapter 4 now at least 10 times. For those of you who've done it quite a few times before, maybe just do it 5 or 10, just as a review. Then I would like you to complete your session today with 10, yes, you heard me correct, 10 practices of Pinan Sandan. Now, if you don't have time for 10 practices, break it up. Do 3 practices in a moment. Go have some dinner or take a break. Then come back later, do another 3 practices. But before our next training session, I want you to have completed Pinan Sandan 10 times. That will mean you're able to engage in our next training session and do the things that we want to do with Pinan Sandan. Because remember, after we've learnt the sequence of the kata, we're not finished. That's actually just the beginning. After we've learnt the sequence of the kata, we want to learn how it works. Next week, we're actually going to be looking at Pinan Nidan in that way. So make sure you're practicing your Pinan Nidan as well, because next week we're going to be looking at what Pinan Nidan actually does. Well done, guys. This is Sensei Craig, and once again I'd like to thank you for coming and training with me in the Samurai Virtual Dojo. I hope you've enjoyed the session today. Thank you for your patronage. Thanks to your patronage, we're able to create more videos, more content to help you in those whatever your stage you're at in your traditional karate journey. For now, let's bow out. Otagani, right? Us. See you next time in the Samurai Virtual Dojo. Ciao.